This is episode number 76 of the Homeowner Show. Whether you're DIY or looking to hire, we're here to help you find the best information and options for you and your home. My name is Kevin Hackett, and here with me is Craig Williams.
Hello, and welcome to the Homeowner Show. We're glad that you could join us today in the festivities on the Homeowner Show.
Festivities.
That's right.
Okay.
We're having a party.
It's always a party.
It's always a party.
Yeah.
So, yeah, we're glad you could join us. If you haven't yet, hit the subscribe button, click on the bird, the heart, the moose, the whatever it is. There's apps out there with moosin', right?
Moosin'?
Moosin'. A flock of moosin'.
I'm sure there are. I'm sure. Yes.
There's a podcast app that has the moose on the... Yeah?
I don't think so.
No? Is that not what the mascot is of the one that you use?
No. Pocket Cast?
Yeah.
No.
They should.
No. They don't stoop to moosin' level.
To moosin'?
Yeah. So what's up, man? How's it going?
It's going good. Yeah, no, it's been an eventful week.
Yeah. In what way?
People have been impeached. People have been tried.
Well, one person.
Witnesses haven't been called.
It's true.
Speeches have been made.
Yes.
Retaliation has been planned.
And torn up as well.
America.
Yes. It takes a really cool person to make a speech. It takes another type of person to tear up the speech.
That's right.
just saying.
So, oh man, there's so much bizarre and just weird with American politics right now.
I know.
Which, by the way, man, I've seen this thing going around the interwebs about how she may have like broken the law.
Really?
By tearing the speech up, because apparently it's like official government document that like if you intentionally damage or
deface.
Yeah, I saw. You can look it up. There, nothing will probably come of it, but like it's floating around out there that like whatever she did, it may have been against the law. Well,
I also saw that someone was going to sue.
We're talking about Nancy Pelosi ripping up the State of the Union speech, by the way, if you don't know what's going on.
Right. I also heard that someone was going to sue the NFL for inappropriate halftime shows. So none of this is actually going to happen.
No, none of it's going to happen.
No, it's not going to happen.
So, but that being said, so like for my business, I made a post, and a lot of people don't realize this, but like contracts in Texas are basically meaningless.
Yeah.
And really all they're used for is to like browbeat customers into remaining loyal to whatever service they signed up for, particularly in our industry. Like they have no weight whatsoever. You can get out of whatever contract you're in.
You're not going to be able to hold me to that, really.
Like if you sign like an annual contract with a service company, like it's basically meaningless.
Sure.
That being said, I created this meme that had the picture of Nancy ripping the speech up. And all it really said was, when customers realize that they don't need a complicated contract to kill roaches.
Yeah.
That was it.
Yeah.
Man, I've never gotten so much hate in my life.
Well, people thought you were talking about her being a roach.
No, like the hate was coming from people like, how dare you support what she did? And I'm like, what? I'm not supporting what she did. I'm making fun of what happened.
I'm actually not supporting or not supporting. I'm
not supporting anything.
Right.
I'm, talking about what happened in the moment.
Man,
so
people are funny.
Yeah, and so like there was pages and pages of comments, and like people, saying how ridiculous, what a communist I was, and then people saying, y'all are ridiculous, and people fighting, and it got ugly. Mm-hmm. And so where the group that I'd posted this particular, I posted it in several places, but this group that I posted it in, whoever managed it just took it down.
They were like, I'm done with this.
It got too got a little too frictiony.
That's interesting.
Yeah.
Wow. So. And I tell you, one of the things that, and I don't really care where you fall on political lines, once you start talking about that on a platform that people have no recourse of their comments,
right?
You're going to get all kinds of stuff. Because, I mean, there's literally things that I might say to you right now because I'm in your presence that I would probably not say.
Yeah.
But if it was over social media, I might say it because the likelihood of you being able to punch me through my computer screen is a lot less.
Yeah.
Right?
People tend to be a little bolder.
Yeah, they do.
So, and this is sort of like a weird experiment that we're running, because this is pretty new. I mean, like, Facebook's been around like for 12, 13 years now.
Yeah.
And I heard somebody describe it like this. You essentially have your public life, you have your private life, and then you have your public private life. And that public-private life, you can sort of create whatever persona you want. Now, it could be real, it could be fake, and you can, doctor your photos and say whatever you want. And it may be something completely different than what you might say when you and I are sitting down and having a conversation.
Right.
But like, there's no like responsibility to that, other than people calling you out for things that you say. But like, again, like you said, there's no recourse.
Right.
Technically.
No. I mean, other than people possibly removing your post, if you put it on a page,
and that's even becoming an issue with people getting upset about their stuff being taken down, and they're saying, you're infringing on my free speech rights and all sorts of stuff.
Well, I'll tell you what this isn't. This isn't a political, show, and so
sure,
yeah. I mean, here's the deal.
We can make some political statements. We are for freedom.
Yeah, exactly. There's a lot of things Craig and I are for, and we've talked about it before, even on our Final Four, which is, love your family. I mean, that kind of stuff. But I guess the point is, I mean, there's just a lot of stuff out there right now that people have huge opinions on, and it's just an interesting world where we know everybody's opinion.
No.
We used to not know everyone's opinion, but now we know everyone's opinion. No. And they're not shy about, throwing it out there.
Well, I can tell you where there is little disagreement in this country. Everyone loves vacations.
Absolutely. One of my favorite things in the world is a vacation.
Yeah. So we've decided to start this new series that we're going to do called Getting Out of the House.
Okay.
Because as much as we are in favor of the home here at the Homeowners Show, and your home is a wonderful place, sometimes you just got to get out of it. Sometimes you got to go visit someplace else. Sometimes you got to go see something else. And that's when it's time to take a trip, take a little vacay.
That's right.
Little siesta.
Yes.
Am I missing I need my thesaurus.
Well, I'm not the right guy for
a holiday.
Getting away things to say on holiday.
Yeah.
Yeah.
But so this week we're going to kick it off with JJ over at Cruise Planners.
Yeah.
We're going to be talking about you need to guess. Well, you need to guess, Kev. If she's from Cruise Planners, we're probably going to be talking about
Disney. Right?
No.
Well, hey. No, Disney's definitely involved in this industry.
Well, no, the Disney cruise.
Okay,
fair enough.
I'm not wrong, people. But we're going to be talking about cruises.
Yes.
Yeah. Specifically.
We got JJ on the show. How you doing, JJ?
I'm good. Thank you. Thank you for having me. And I am so glad I'm not talking about politics.
Good. Yeah.
That is not my deal. I'm all about the fun side of life.
We saw you fuming when you came in, listening to talk radio when you came in, so we wanted to calm you down before we're not going to say what show you were listening to, but
okay, good.
But yeah, no politics especially not on the cruise.
Correct.
Yeah.
It's all about fun.
Right. And there's no fun in politics.
No. And anybody that wants to talk about politics on the cruise, they just need to go get another drink, get by the pool,
That's right.
Chill out.
Yes.
Give it up.
There's medicine for that.
Now, I have to tell you, just right off the bat, that I've been on one cruise in my life. Only one.
I can fix that.
Yeah, I'm sure you can. I'm sure you can. Here's the thing, though. I'm afraid I spoiled myself because not soiled myself, spoiled myself.
Got to enunciate, Kevin.
Those are completely different things.
Thank goodness. Yeah.
So, when my wife graduated with her master's degree, she wanted to go to Alaska. That was kind of what she wanted for her graduation gift. And so we took a cruise to Alaska.
Did you see that flock of moosin?
Well, we saw a few. Yes. Yes. We also saw a herd of eagles. It was awesome. And so we
It's a gaggle.
sorry, excuse me. I got to get my terms right.
It's definitely not a herd.
Definitely not a herd. Okay. So we went on Celebrity and we stayed in a balcony room on a great cruise line going to Alaska. So I'm afraid that I spoiled myself a little bit, but I'm really interested to hear a lot about cruises that I'm sure I don't know near enough about. So I guess as we get into this a little bit, tell us about you a little bit, how you got started in this industry and how many years you've been doing it, whatever we need to know about all that.
Okay. Well, you probably did spoil yourself. Celebrity is an amazing cruise line.
Yeah.
Alaska, amazing destination, the most beautiful place. And a balcony, you cannot go to Alaska on a cruise and have an inside cabin. You just can't, because there's nothing like stepping out on that balcony and viewing the glaciers as you're doing a 360 degree rotation in Glacier Bay,
right,
or Hubbard Glacier. So yeah, you're spoiled.
Yeah, I am.
Yep.
Man, I knew it when we did it. I was like, this, we're not going to be able to go back. Like, having a balcony room in and of itself, we're probably never ever going to really want an inside room.
No, you won't.
And so, and there's categories here.
Yes,
we're getting into the higher category for sure.
Yeah.
But
well,
anyway,
I'm JJ Kuykendall, and I purchased my franchise with Cruise Planners back in 2004.
Okay.
So I'm 15 years in the business.
Okay.
And I did not know I loved travel as much as I do until I got into this industry. It's the most amazing, fun, challenging business I've ever been involved in. And I absolutely love it. So,
okay.
Yeah. And go ahead.
You said it's challenging. That's the one word that I wouldn't have expected you to say when you said challenging. What about it's challenging?
Well, challenging is when you are doing the research and there is a sort of a pressure on me to make sure that I fit my clients with the right vacation. And so that's the challenge, is to be able to interview, so to speak, and ask a lot of questions of my clients to know what they want, what they like, what they expect out of their vacation. And so it can be challenging, especially if it's a complicated itinerary that's maybe land-based, or it's a pre and post package for a cruise, pre-cruise or post-cruise package, like in Europe, whatever. And so that's the challenge, and just making sure that everything, all the details are worked out before they ever step foot on that airplane or that boat, the ship.
Do most people, I mean, when you talk about like fulfilling people's expectations, do you find that most people come to you have a pretty good idea of what they want, or they kind of coming to you going, what's available?
No, in this world of technology, really, you don't have to sit down, walk into an office and sit down face to face with a travel agent anymore. And most people already have an idea of what they want to do, right? Mm-hmm. So the internet's a beautiful thing.
Right.
But my slogan is, the internet's for looking, but call JJ for booking.
Yeah, so that's a really good point, because I've dealt with this on a number of different levels with booking trips to Disney and other things. So talk to us a little bit about why should, in the age of whenever all I got to do is open up my phone app and go to TripAdvisor or Expedia or wherever, and book a cruise right there. It's easy. Why should I book through a cruise planner like you?
Well, it's a win-win situation, because you have a professional like me that's used to research. I know the vendors. I know who to trust. I know the resorts. I know the cruise lines. I've done a lot of travel, so I can offer my personal experience and opinions. Whereas if you're on the computer, on the internet, you don't get that. The win-win situation is that it doesn't cost you any more to use me and my expertise than it does if you just go online, go direct to the cruise line or whatever, because we're not in competition with each other. We're partners.
That sounds unbelievable to me. So explain that.
Yeah, we're partners with all the cruise lines. So they pay me a commission for taking care of you as my client. So it's a partnership. It's not a competition. So
I'm not paying.
No.
I'm not paying you.
No.
The cruise line or the vacation that you're booking, whatever that looks like, they're paying you a commission. But is it cheaper for me to buy somewhere else than to buy through you?
No, because if it's Apple, it could be just apples to apples, exactly the same price. But at Cruise Planners, we have hundreds and hundreds of group space blocked on different ships and sail dates. And so if you come to me saying, I want an Alaska cruise, then I can narrow down to say, hey, we've got some group rates on this date. If you're flexible to go, we can do that. You may get some extra amenities like wine in the cabin or shipboard credit or free photos, things like that you don't get by going direct.
Okay, so it's actually a better deal to go because I'm paying the same price.
Correct.
And there may be some perks, but beyond that, I'm getting you.
Right.
Versus getting an email, right?
Right. Or calling into a call center where you have to tell your story 6 times or wait on hold and press 1 and 5 and click. You've been disconnected.
Oh, I hate that.
Oh, yeah. 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 So it's a good situation, Why not use
one of the things that I know to be a fact, and again, I keep bringing Disney up just because I've booked a lot of Disney in my life, is that if you call into a place like Disney, for example, and you say, I want to go on a Disney cruise line, I want to go DCL, and I want, this, and this. So they've already done their research. What most people don't realize is the person that you're calling is getting a commission from Disney, just like I would if I were going through you or if I was going through any number of travel agents. Disney is still required to pay a commission to the person who books that reservation, no matter what. So you're not getting a better price by calling or by going online than I would if I went directly to a travel agent, correct?
Correct.
Okay.
Yeah. And not only that, but we're able to be your advocate. So should something go wrong with your vacation, heaven forbid, and things happen, they do, I'm your first point of contact. I know what your reservation looks like. I know everything that you're doing. So I'm going to go to the cruise line on your behalf and try to reconcile the problem, whatever that might be.
Yeah, that's really helpful. I know that we had a resort vacation at an all-inclusive in Cozumel one year, and we got there, and the room that we got was not what we had paid for. And so we went back up to the desk, and the problem is, and we're in Mexico, and I don't speak Spanish, and so there was a communication barrier. And so I immediately just called my travel agent, and we got it taken care of pretty quickly. So
yes.
I wasn't able to do it there very easily, and my travel agent was able to do it pretty quickly and easily.
Yes,
so.
and that's our job. That's what we do. So if you have a good travel agent, they're the ones that's going to go to bat for you. They're the ones that's stepping in on your behalf and helping you through these issues.
Okay. So cool. So I guess the other thing that I'm really curious about is talk us through the process of going on a cruise, because if I've never gone on a cruise before, and for me, I've only done it once, and it's been a long time ago at this point, what is that process like? I mean, should I be nervous about being on the boat in the middle of the ocean? And there's so many different cruise lines, and talk to me just about the process of how do I go about booking something and finding a cruise to go on vacation with.
Well, when you first call me, I find out exactly what it is you're looking. If you want Caribbean, do you want to fly to Florida? Or do you want to just go out of Galveston, drive to the pier? What kind of dates are you looking at? What's your preferences? Those sorts of things. Then I will put together like a cruise comparison for you and shoot it over to you in an email. You can see all the details of the ship, the itinerary, the day-to-day itinerary, and all that. And then that will help you narrow down what, as well as the lead-in price of all the different categories. So, considering your budget, your time constraints, and how long you can be gone, then we can narrow that down. And then I can get exact prices, check any extra amenities, do all that legwork for you, and give it to you on a silver platter.
Okay.
Here it is.
Yeah.
Then, the cruise lines require a deposit, that sort of thing. Final payments about 90 days prior to your departure. I help you keep up with all that. I also offer something I call layaway to sail away. So in between those two payment dates, you can make equal monthly payments. So it's all about planning. A lot of people say, I just can't afford to go. If you want to plan your vacation a year and a half in advance, we can make it happen with small monthly payments so you can have that dream vacation.
Okay.
And
How far out do people need to start planning probably before their sail date? What's a good...
A good is about 6 months.
6 months, okay.
Mm-hmm. Yeah, probably about 6 months.
Is that in order to get the room that you want, the rate that you want, or what does 6 months give us planning wise?
At least 6 to 8 months out, you have more choices on your cabin locations and things like that. Now, as far as pricing goes, we know sometimes the cruise lines, they fluctuate on their pricing.
Right.
And so in my system, once I have a reservation plugged into my system, it monitors the cruise line pricing. So if it detects a lower rate on that balcony cabin on that ship than you have, I get an alert. So I call the cruise line and say, hey, check out this lower rate for my client, all that. And then they will honor a lower rate.
Oh, okay.
Anytime up until final payment of the cruise. So
if 6 to 8 months is a good time to start planning, how far out can I plan?
Oh, you can. We're booking into, I think, the spring of 22.
Oh, really?
Yes. So
two years out.
Most of the major cruise lines we have inventory far in advance like that. So, yeah, you can plan. It's all about planning. Cruise planners.
Yeah.
So does that take into account, when they change boats, when they bring in new ships into different ports and all that kind of stuff, I'd imagine?
Mm-hmm. Yeah. Because they'll reposition a ship, take one of ours out of Galveston, and then we get a different ship for a different experience and stuff. So they do reposition all the time. And as far out, they know what ships will be here in early 22.
Yeah.
So, yeah.
That's incredible that they know 2 years out, kind of like what they're...
I know.
That's
It is crazy.
I can't look into next week without getting a little stressed.
Yeah, no, I understand what you mean on that. So talk me through some of the different options that I've got on a cruise. And I guess let's start with rooms. Well, that's the thing that I think most people are most interested in is what type of room categories am I looking at? And can you explain that just a little bit?
Well, there's inside cabins. Those are small cabins, twin beds or king bed. Some of those will accommodate up to 4 people, sometimes 5. But really, that's Sardine City. You don't want that. That's too many people in an inside cabin.
It's really just for 2.
Yeah, it really is. I mean, any of them are,
Yeah.
you know. So, but it's so the inside cabin has no window or anything like that. It's the lead-in price. Ocean views either typically have a porthole, a small porthole, or they have a large picture window.
Okay. Yeah.
And a balcony like you had in Alaska, where you have a private balcony. Usually it's big enough to have a couple of chairs and a little table.
Okay.
So that's a much nicer accommodation. The square footage is larger as well.
Right.
Then you can move up to suites.
Okay.
And there's different levels of suites too. You know, the lead-in suite, larger, all the way up to owner suite, family suites, all that.
Yeah, and they even have like some ships would even have like corner suites that are huge, right?
Yes.
I mean, like
wraparound balconies.
Yeah, big,
Yes.
massive ones, and there's
Yes.
only like maybe 4 or 8 of them on the entire ship. Sometimes is that right?
Yes, yes, yeah. They're usually in the either in aft or forward on the corners where they have the big wraparound balconies. Baby grands in the living room. Some are 2-story
Wow.
lofts, loft
Goodness.
suites on Royal Caribbean.
Have you ever booked one of those?
Oh yeah,
Really?
I've never stayed in one.
Yeah. Well, they're not like cheap.
No, they're not cheap. No.
Yeah.
But, you know, interestingly enough, though, the ships sell out from the top down.
Mm-hmm.
So the suites and the higher end cabins sell first
Oh.
before the lower, you know.
Well, you sell
Insides
one
and
of
ocean
those, you can
views.
probably set sail without the rest of the.
Oh, they'll sell too. But, you know, if you're wanting a nice suite on a ship, you need to book it well in advance, a year in advance, because those will sell out.
You
Yeah.
probably need a year to pay it off anyway.
Yeah. And you can do that.
Yeah. Okay. So I guess the next question is, what types of, I mean, different ships offer different things. And one of the things I've really noticed is that different ships kind of accommodate a different type of person on some level. Like for instance, I know whenever we were booking Alaska, I mentioned to someone, I was like, yeah, I was looking at this Holland America cruise, and someone said, well, that's for old people. And I was like, oh, well, I had no clue. I was like, well, what about Carnival? They're like, well, that's the party ship. So, and I don't know if those stereotypes are accurate or not, but that's just what I've heard. So could you speak into, I guess, just some of the amenities of the ships, and are there different ones that are, you know, more suitable?
Different types of personalities.
Yeah, exactly.
Well, it's hard to pigeonhole, you know, exactly what kind of person, but, you know, Carnival, they are, their reputation used to be that, but really not anymore, because the average person sailing on Carnival is like 45 or 50.
Okay.
So Carnival is very competitive in their pricing because they have the largest fleet in the industry. They've got more ships. So they're really, Carnival really speaks to families and multi-gen sailings, you know, because there's something for everybody, no matter what your age, on Carnival, and all of them really. You know, you can, you know, every cruise line, when they build a new ship, is the newest, the most fun. What's new? What new thing can we put on the ship?
Right.
You know, so we have, you know, rock climbing walls, of course, water slides, bowling alleys, escape rooms.
Wow.
Just
Are these some of the newest things that they're starting to put on boats now? Or I mean, I know some of those are already on some ships, but
yeah. So, the Carnival has the Sky Ride, which is a bicycle track, so to speak, that you're on a pedal thing and you're going around the top deck, you know, around pedaling around above everything.
Wow.
So it's
That's pretty
incredible. You know, cruises used to be, you know, for the newlyweds or the nearly deads. and now cruises are for everybody.
Yeah.
Seriously, everybody.
Yeah.
Well, I know there's some that are really trying to appeal to like the family and the kids. right? And so like, are there, kind of speaking into Kevin's question, are there ones that are doing a better job of that from your perspective, that are appealing to like the younger families and the kids?
Well, Disney cruises are phenomenal, and they really are
Geared.
Geared. They're geared. Disney is, the quality of Disney, everything Disney is fantastic. And but really, all the cruise lines, they have their kids programs. So it's like going to camp for a kid when they're on a cruise, and it's like a vacation for the family, the adults, because the kids are in the kids club having a great time, and the adults are laying by the pool having a good time, doing their thing and relaxing. So, but all the cruise lines do that. They have really good programs like that.
Well, and I know on the last cruise that I went on, I'd never really, I've been on several, but I'd never really had one where I'd been on a lot of excursions. And I had a really good time this last time doing some really fun excursions, some stuff I'd never done before.
Like what?
Well, I did I got to swim with some dolphins in Cozumel. We did some cenote swimming, like a whole cave swim that was 4 or 5 hours long, and some cave diving with that. And then we did a cooking class at one of them thing, and then I forget what we did in one of the other. It was a longer cruise, so we got to do a lot of neat stuff. The dolphin one in particular was really, really fun. But I'm just curious as to whether or not does the cruise line that you're on change the availability of certain kinds of excursions? Are there partnerships that they have at docks to do different things, or are they all pretty much offering the same kind of experiences on those?
They do offer pretty much the same kinds of experiences, whether it be water experiences or adventure or touring in the islands and things like that, because they do partner with the locals, the tour operators on the ground on the islands that lead these excursions. So they have similar experiences.
Okay.
Yeah.
And so I've only ever done Caribbean. I've never done Alaska or Mediterranean, or I don't even know what the other ones that are available. I mean, do ones in Alaska, do ones in, I don't know, Mediterranean River and all this, do they have excursions like they do in the, I mean, obviously they're not the same kind of experiences, but do they have ports where they have those kinds of excursions to do those things?
Absolutely.
Okay.
Like in Alaska, one of the things that I did was so much fun, was we took a helicopter and flew to the glacier and landed on the glacier. When we're up in the air, you see these little bitty cracks in the glacier. When you get on the ground, they're this wide, there's crevasses, and you're like, wow, those look like cracks from the sky.
Yeah.
And I could fall in that and die,
Wow.
But we did a glacier trek and rappel. And so we put on the crampons, and there were only 3 of us and
I just
the guide.
learned a new word, Kev.
Oh yeah.
What?
I've never. What's a crampon?
Well, it's. I mean, most of the women wear them.
Kevin.
But I think. No, is that different, JJ?
It's a little different. It's a little different. Okay, a crampon is where it's the ice spikes that go on the bottom of your shoes, on your boots.
Okay.
They fit on the bottom.
It's like you strap it on your shoes?
Yes,
Okay.
and it has spikes in the toes
All right.
as well. So
You might use these on like if you're going in the Rockies or somewhere like that to go snow hiking, but specifically for ice. If you're doing ice stuff, that's what they're primarily for, correct?
Correct.
Okay.
And so we trekked on the glacier, and we did a little glacier climbing, right? Not very much. And then we rappelled from the glacier.
That's amazing.
So it was an experience, let me tell you.
I bet.
And I have it on video that
cool.
I was hanging upside down like a icicle from the glacier, because I was off the side and my spikes were into the side of the ice. And so as my bottom went down, I couldn't get my feet out of the ice.
Oh, no.
So my feet just
Everything
stayed
else
where they
kept
were,
going.
and everything else kept going down.
Oh, no.
So anyway, I was laughing so hard by the time I got myself upright again that it was a blast. So, depending on where you're going, they have amazing experiences that you can do from, and we took a float plane over to another island in Alaska and did a bear watch. And that was like being National Geographic right there, just yards away from me.
What are those, grizzlies?
Yeah.
Wow, that's amazing.
Yeah.
Big scary bears.
Yeah, exactly. So I guess the next question, when we went on our Alaskan cruise, one of the things that we were told by the people on the ship, and I want to see if you have an opinion on this, because my wife and I were kind of like, okay, surely that's marketing on some level, and that's that they were saying, hey, book the excursions through us, because and they were, more expensive by, sometimes $100 per person more expensive to book them through the cruise line than to book them just on your own, which you can do. You can book cruises, excursions on your own, or you can book them through the cruise line. And their reasoning for that was they said, we have certain guarantees that we put in place. We have certain partnerships that we know we're going to keep you safe and those sorts of things. But also, they said, if you book an excursion through us, we will guarantee that if the excursion's running late, we won't leave you. So I'm just curious, do you have a and let me just make a comment there, because a cruise ship will leave you.
Yes,
right?
They will.
Okay.
Yes.
and then you have a choice, right? You can either fly home or fly to the next port, right?
Yes.
So what are your thoughts on that?
I never recommend that anybody book an excursion in a foreign country by just stepping off and going somebody's coming up to them, hey, we'll take you here, we'll take you there. Or booking an excursion online with a company that you don't know, because you don't know how reliable they are. So my recommendation, we have a company that we partner with, is called Shore Trips. They have the guarantee of, listen, we have backups to all of our equipment. We will get you back on time to the ship. We're going to take care of you on time. So my recommendation is, I recommend to my clients that look and see what the cruise line offers, look and see what Shore Trips offers, and decide for yourself, because they're both great companies. But just randomly going out there and finding somebody to take you somewhere, not real smart.
Yeah.
No, I wouldn't do that.
No, I agree with that, and we ultimately didn't do that, but they kind of made a scare tactic on that, saying, listen, we're the only thing that you can trust, and by the time, you're on the ship at that point, you're going, well, I want to do an excursion, but I don't really know what to do at this point. So that's good advice. And
another thing about booking excursions, I don't recommend that you wait till you get on the ship to book, because the excursion desk is open and it usually has a line with people waiting, and you've got better things to do on the ship than stand in a line waiting to book an excursion. So if you book, your excursion before you ever leave the house, that's the best thing to do.
Yeah. Well, and one of the things that I've come up against occasionally is like, let's not do an excursion. And I think there's probably pluses to that as well. Part of it being like, you kind of have the boat to yourself, and some of the amenities that they have there that, might be crowded usually.
Yes.
And things like, so like you can do that. It may
absolutely
not, it'll feel a little bit like a ghost town, but you have that option to stay there and eat as much as you want, and
all the services are still available. The waiters, everybody's still on duty. You can get some really good discounts at the spa on port days.
Oh, okay.
So there's specials to be had there.
I hadn't thought about that one.
Well,
That's
and
a good idea.
that actually brings up something I wanted to ask you about is just amenities on the boat in general. What are some amenities? Because I think everybody goes into a cruise and there's like, well, there's going to be a pool. There's probably going to be a buffet. There's going to be lots of food. There's probably going to be some shows and some different things like that. There's the casino. Mm-hmm. But like, what are some amenities on the ship that like either surprise people or most people aren't aware of that?
Well, other than...
I mean, I can tell you one that I came across on my last trip. I didn't realize that most boats have a library.
Oh, yeah.
You know, and like they're actually pretty nice. Mm-hmm. Like they're not like Library of Congress or anything like that. But they're nice, quiet places to go hang out usually. Mm-hmm. Yeah, or find a deck of cards, or it's just a different place to go on the boat that's kind of off to the side.
Mm-hmm. Well, I guess one of the things for us that we found surprising, and we wound up shopping there is shopping, first of all, that there's a fair amount of shopping on a lot of these cruises, but jewelry stores, and we had some pretty awesome opportunities. I mean, they have some pretty good deals on jewelry on some of these things as well. We bought my wife this really beautiful yellow gem for a ring that we had made later, but some shopping, I think, is something that a lot of people don't expect to have. I mean, that's one of those things like, oh, I forgot this. You can probably just go buy it, right?
Yes. And the shopping is, and it's duty free. Mm-hmm. So you're saving the taxes and things like that. And typically every cruise will have a shopping show as part of that, and they will tell you where to go when you get to this port. Okay, these are the places that you need to go. Yeah. If you go do this, you'll get a free little charm, and they kind of advise you on getting off the ship and going shopping, depending on what you're looking for.
Could you explain to people how that works? The whole duty free, because I think people just take that as making a booze run.
It can be.
Well, sure. But how does that work? I mean, because we don't want to encourage people to be unethical with their taxes and things like that. But how does that actually work?
Well, I mean, unless you're buying a large dollar item, you really don't have to claim it as far as your for taxing when you get back into the U.S. Right. But large sums
of sales tax.
Okay. Yeah, large sums of alcohol or cigarettes. Yes, you you need to claim that. Jewelry, things like that.
But I mean, like people take that as an opportunity sometimes to kind of stuff that in the old suitcase and.
I don't know about that.
I'm not saying you do that. I'm just saying, like, I'm sure there's people that.
I'm sure there is.
Think that they can do that.
Yeah. But even, it's just a way to be able to buy things and not have sales tax attached to it. So you're going to save that at least.
Yeah. Because I think anybody that's been on a cruise has walked through when they're at a port of call, like this long hallway of just stuff that they're like, hey, duty free, and like, and then most people don't have no idea what that even means.
Yeah.
So.
Hey guys, want to take a quick second here to introduce you to our sponsor for today's show, Paul the Plumber. He's the guy you need to call if you have any plumbing needs.
Guys, you can reach out to Paul and Deborah in the office. You can hit them up at 832-521-3252. Again, that's 832-521-3252. You can reach Deborah in the office at Deborah@paultheplumberllc.com. If you need to know how to spell that, it's in the show notes. You can also reach out to them at paultheplumberllc.com and book an appointment online. Again, for all your plumbing needs, whether it's a backed up drain, leaky pipe, fountain in the yard's not acting right, give them a holler.
All right, guys. It's hard to forget a name like Paul the Plumber. Give him a call. And now back to the show. Okay, another question.
Okay.
So this is a deal right now, and I don't want to scare people in any way, and I don't want to get people not to call you, but like people are getting sick on ships. Mm-hmm. And
there's one right now that's like on quarantine, right?
Exactly.
Yeah.
Yes, there is.
Yes, the coronavirus.
The coronavirus is on one of the ships. And that this is a big deal. It's a problem, and so and we've heard of other times whenever people come back, and a lot of times they're just national type news, right? Whenever large groups of people come off of a ship, with illnesses. What can you speak into that a little bit? Like, what types of things should I be concerned about, and is there something I can do to help myself with that?
Yes, I mean it's just common sense cleanliness, and whether you're on a ship or you're in a plane or you're in a hotel, on the cruise ships they have hand sanitizers in all the public areas. So making sure you're washing good, you're using the hand sanitizers when they're available and where they're available, is just good practice anyway. And that's going to help keep down whether it's, coronavirus or somebody has got a cold on the cruise.
Right.
And, I try not to touch rails going up and down the stairs much and things like that. Just so kind of protecting yourself.
One of the things that I find really interesting is I was listening to another podcast the other day, a Disney podcast, and they were talking about the Disney Cruise Line, and I know that all cruise lines are regulated by whoever regulates them. I actually don't know who by, but what was interesting to me that I didn't realize is that the CDC rates them based on their cleanliness, and like they have groups, like from the CDC that will come in and they will go through every nook and cranny of that place and test it and find out, how clean it is. And they were saying that the Disney Cruise Line regularly is at the very top of that list of the most clean ships available. In fact, regularly will get 100 scores of 100 or very close to it. So, is that something that I should be concerned about, like going on certain cruises based on their CDC grading, or is that just kind of no, why don't you just keep yourself, smart, wash your hands a lot, those types of things?
Yeah, that's what I do. I'm not gonna only sail Disney,
right?
Well,
that really limits you anyway.
It does. So I just try to be smart about it.
Okay, no, that's good.
Take a bath.
Take a bath. Really,
well, it makes a lot of sense to just wherever you're at. If you're around large groups of people, just the only person you can control is you, right? So,
that's exactly right.
So take care of your own self. Clean up, those sorts of things. So now, okay, what has been maybe one of the greatest experiences that you've ever had on a cruise?
Wow, that is a tough question because I just told you of one.
Yeah.
In Alaska, or
crampons.
My crampons, and I have swam with dolphins, and that was incredible. And
where did you do that at?
I did it in Cozumel.
Cozumel?
And
did you do the same place I did?
Probably in Chakanab.
Yeah.
Yep. And
did you get in with the manatees?
I didn't. No,
Ooh.
I haven't done that yet.
That was awesome.
I bet, but I will.
Yeah.
I like swimming with things.
Yeah.
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 But in Hawaii, we swam with the sea turtles, and we took a Zodiac out, and they're not in a pen like the dolphins are.
Right.
And the guide,
which sounds kind of mean. I mean, it's a massive area
it is a massive area.
I mean, that pen, we're talking probably almost 4 to 5 acre pen that these dolphins are in.
Yeah. And they're happy. They're fat and happy.
Oh yeah.
But the turtles, it was amazing because he said, just act like a turtle. I'm like, how do you act like a turtle? I don't know how to do that.
Be really slow.
So we got the snorkel thing on, and you just float because the sea turtles, they go to the bottom and then they come up for air eventually. So, and there's so many of them, and they are. I was just floating, waiting, and here comes this turtle. I see the shadow coming up, and he came up right in front of my face. We were this far inches away from each other when he came up face to face, and I went, "Oh, don't eat me, don't eat me!" So I'm like being really still, like a dead turtle or something, because I didn't want him to, do anything crazy.
Yeah.
And so he looked at me, I looked at him, and then he turned and just did a
Kind of went on his way, huh?
away, and it was just incredible, peaceful, But then I've been to the Galapagos Islands.
Oh man!
Oh,
I saw you live tweeting and live Facebook. I was seriously jealous while you were over there. I was like, the things that you were seeing, the things that I'm seeing you see, I can't imagine what your eyes are seeing.
Oh, it's like God has put this out here for our enjoyment. It's like, how come you did that, God? That is so incredible. I'm not even, it's like, it's so unbelievable.
Yeah.
And I've got my GoPro and we're swimming in the Galapagos, right? And I have my GoPro out and I see two sea lions ahead of me. And so I start swimming toward them. We're not supposed to touch them or do anything. So I'm swimming toward them and then they start coming toward me. So you cannot, just so you know, you cannot swim backwards in fins.
How do you know?
Because I tried. And so I'm trying to swim backwards, but it's not working. So I'm just sitting there, and he came directly at the GoPro and got right to the lens, and then just went shoo, and just and then here he comes again for a second time. He was just playing with me. It was incredible. And he just came to me and just went right to the GoPro lens and then took a nosedive and went away. And I came up out of that water going, "Did y'all see that? Did you see that? Oh my God." That was so crazy. It was great. It was so great.
I would flip out. I would love that.
Oh, not. I mean, there are not very many things in this world that is more incredible.
Were they seals or were they sea lions?
They were seals.
Seals?
What did I say?
I don't.
Oh, seals. Yeah.
I know. I was just asking for clarification.
It was a seal.
Because sea lions are massive.
Yeah.
And can be kind of aggressive, but like seals tend to be,
Yeah, seals. It was seals. It was like, oh my goodness. And in the Galapagos, yes, and in the Galapagos too, we had penguins. That was a surprise.
Wow.
I didn't know there were penguins there.
Yeah.
And you could get right up on them with my GoPro. I've got some incredible video. Unbelievable.
That's amazing.
Yeah.
Wow. So the next question is, where is somewhere that you haven't been that it's on your list?
Oh, wow. Everywhere. It's on my bucket list.
I'll tell you.
A place called Everywhere.
Yeah, I'll tell you a place that I really want to go, and I'm not even joking about this. I know some people who have done this. I want to go to Antarctica. I have seen some of the most unbelievable 2-week excursion things that they do. I mean, it's like you go typically with like a group of about 15 to 20 people, and you go out on these boats. I mean, they're just boats. They're not necessarily massive cruise lines like you would think about a cruise ship, because you really can't do that down there. And they're the things that they see that nobody gets to see.
Yeah.
I think that's one of the most amazing things about going on cruises and going on vacations where people say, look, we have found this place that is unusual. It's different. It's something that you need to do. I would say that about Alaska. Like, you need to go. It is one of the most unbelievable, beautiful places that I've ever seen with my own 2 eyes. And so, take the time, save your money, do what you have to do, work a side hustle, do what you have to do to be able to go and experience some of the things that are out there in the world.
Which for me, I think raises a question. What are some places that are available for cruises that most people don't think of? Because I think most people immediately go to, the Caribbean, maybe Alaska, maybe the Gulf of Mexico. What are some other places? Because you've done a river cruise in Europe, right?
Okay. River in Asia, Europe, river cruises are amazing because they're way different than an ocean cruise. Because there's no casino on board and all that. There's no can dancers or anything like that for entertainment. And it's all about the culture and the city that you're visiting every day. And in the evening for entertainment, they will bring on the locals. So if you're in Hungary, there may be Hungarian dancers, or in Austria, I just lost my words.
I've not been
orchestra,
there. Orchestra.
You know, so it's very neat because you can learn about the cultures and be more local visiting. You're not doing zip lines and things like that, but you're visiting castles and you're talking to the locals and learning about the culture and seeing the cathedrals, the beautiful buildings and all that. So
wow.
So I'm just trying to think of places. I mean, are there ones in Australia?
Yes, Australia, New Zealand.
And then that would probably go into like the Polynesian Islands, I guess.
Yep.
Yeah.
Bora Bora, all that.
What about like Africa?
Africa, there are some cruises. What I say? I'm not sure.
I would guess. Guess South Africa would probably have some.
To me, I'm thinking, for Africa, we went last year and we did a safari, but it was not a cruise. It was a land-based vacation.
And a lot of people, that's what they go to Africa to go do, is the land-based stuff anyway. But
so, because when, wherever the destination is for the cruises, you don't get very far inland, right? So in a lot of places like that, you need to do it by land to experience the all that it's worth.
Yeah.
Well, I would even say that for our Alaska cruise, like those land cruises are unbelievable because we didn't get to do that. We really just, you sail around the outskirts of Alaska and don't get me wrong, you need to do it and it's beautiful. But I know there's things that you can't do because you're just on the coast the whole time. You can't go very far in.
Well, with the Alaska cruises, you can do what's called a cruise tour.
Yes.
And so you can take, the train, motor coach into as far as inland as Fairbanks, going to Denali National Park, seeing Mount McKinley. That you can do that by land before or after your cruise. Yeah.
And there are also some opportunities where you can do that in the middle of your cruise as well, isn't there? Where you go to certain places or am I wrong about that completely?
No, I don't think so.
Okay, so it's typically before or after.
Right. And it's just, you may do an excursion like in Skagway. There's the narrow gauge rail.
And the train,
Yes, the train that goes into the tip of Canada. Yeah. It's beautiful.
Yeah.
Or you could just, have one cruise, get off, go do a long trip, and then come back and do another one, right?
Yeah.
Exactly.
So that's a back-to-back.
That's another thing that I was going to talk about. I'm glad you brought that up because there are people out there who have retired and they don't own a home anymore. And they have decided, I'm not going to go into an old folks home, whatever you want to call those things.
Retirement village.
Yeah. And I'm just going to cruise hop. And there are people that do this, aren't there?
Yes.
I mean,
I don't have
those.
I don't have one, but I do have clients on a regular basis that do back to back or back to back to back. So,
but if you're looking to retire, JJ will hook you up.
I will hook you up. That's right. Nobody wants an old folks home. So,
because you think about it. You got full room and board. You got as much food as you want. There is a hospital basically on ship. There is, all the entertainment that you could possibly want. You get to travel around and see places that you've desired your entire life to go see. And honestly,
people waiting on you hand and foot.
That's right. Yeah. And when you think about like the amount of money that some of these cruises cost versus the amount of money you pay at some of these retirement villages, it's unbelievable. I mean, you could actually maybe save money by just cruise hopping.
I think we're probably just a hop, skip, and a jump away from like that actually being like here's the retirement boat.
A thing. Yes. Yeah.
One dedicated.
Yeah. One dedicated cruise ship.
Yeah. That way you don't have to get off.
That's a great idea.
Yeah. So may go buy me a little boat. And
new business venture.
That's right.
All right. I'm going to look up the URL, for like, what is it called? Retirement cruise.
There you go.
We're gonna go.
We need to see if that's available.
See if it's available. We're gonna go book it right now.
That's right.
We're gonna buy a ship.
We're starting negotiating with these lines.
Yeah, I'm already halfway there, Craig.
Yeah.
Well, cool.
That's awesome.
What else have we not talked about that you think we should hit on?
Wow. How about travel insurance?
Oh yeah, that's a good one.
Everybody's always not sure about travel insurance.
I don't want to spend that extra money.
Exactly. So
Nothing's going to go wrong.
yeah, I'm going to get on that boat no matter what.
Yep.
Mm-hmm.
It's no matter what that will get you every time. It is an extra expense, okay? But you buy it and you hope you don't need it. And it will covers things like, you've got your investment in your vacation, and what happens if you get sick or hurt or a family member dies suddenly and you can't go?
Yeah.
You can lose all that money. So you want to protect your investment, number one, but more importantly, number two, you want to protect yourself while you're out of the U.S. because most people's health insurance, Medicare, Medicaid does not cover out of the U.S. So if you're in a foreign port and you fall and break a leg or you get really sick, you have to go to the hospital, it could be financially devastating to you if you don't have travel insurance.
So you're telling me the travel insurance doesn't just protect me from losing my investment on not being able to go.
Right.
Okay, so what all, I mean, you mentioned medical. That's huge. I didn't know it covered that.
Yes, absolutely. Because if something happens, say you did break your leg, you are in Mexico, you go to the hospital, you have to pay that bill before they're going to let you go. Okay. Or if you've maybe had a heart attack or something and you have to stay there, the ship is gone. It leaves you. So you need travel insurance that will cover your medical expenses plus your expenses to get back home to help you with the airfare and cover those expenses when you get out of the hospital.
So if let's say, heaven forbid, let's say that I'm out on a cruise, I have a heart attack and the cruise leaves me. So I've got all of these medical bills at this crazy place I didn't know I was going to be at by these doctors that I've never, they don't even speak the same language maybe. Now the cruise is gone. I've got to fly home. Travel insurance covers all of that?
Yes, depending on the insurance that you purchase. Okay. So you just make sure you're purchasing the policy that's going to cover you for that.
So there's different policies.
Well, there is. There's most of them will cover those things. It's just the limits. Like some policies may only cover $10,000. Some policies may say, we're going to cover $10,000, but you have to pay it out of your pocket before, and then you can file it when you get home and get reimbursed. There's policies that are better than that will say, we're covering up to $50,000, and we step in and start guaranteeing your care when you're going to the hospital. So they know you're covered for whatever you need.
Okay. And so what are we talking about? Like, let's just say we're doing a 5-day cruise. Just a regular, Caribbean 5-day cruise. I know this is going to be relative because, maybe you're listening to this a long time from now, which is February 2020. But what type of cost am I looking at on I don't know, let's say it's for me and my wife, let's say it's a $3,000 cruise. What am I looking at for travel insurance?
Okay, so it's the insurance company that we partner with is Allianz Global Assistance. They're one of the largest insurance carriers in the world. And so it's based on your age and the cost of the trip.
Okay.
So it's a percentage So say it's 6.5, if you're between the ages of, just an example, 35 to 55 or 60, it may be 6.5% of the cost of your trip.
Okay.
60 to 70, like 8.25%.
Okay. But even then, like if let's say that it's a $3,000 cruise, I mean, you're talking what, like $150, $200?
Yeah, not probably. It's not even that
right.
much. Yeah,
That's not that much.
No, it's not even that much.
Whenever you consider when you consider what all that actually covers, that's probably it's a protect your investment type of thing. So not a bad idea for sure.
Yeah.
Is it something you recommend all the time?
I do, and it's my job to offer it to all my clients. It's my duty because, like, maybe you've never even considered, you didn't even know what it would cover. So that's my job, is to educate you on that, and then you decide what you want.
Yeah, and if I'm just booking this online, I see that as another line item that says, "Oh, by the way, don't forget to protect your investment. It's going to cost this much money." And most of the time I'm scrolling right past that.
Yes. Yeah. And most people probably do. And so, but another thing about having a travel agent can explain to you what this insurance covers and things like that. So,
okay, cool.
And any other tricks that people need to be aware of when they're getting ready to go on their trips? What things they can do that maybe they're not aware of? Are you allowed to bring alcohol on the boat?
It depends on the cruise line. Like Carnival allows you to bring 1 bottle of wine or champagne per adult. So, and a small, like 6-pack of soda, cans only.
Because those are expensive on the boat.
They are.
Yeah.
But one good thing about Carnival, well, they were only Coke products. Now they're Pepsi, but they have Dr. Pepper. So I'm like, yes,
Kevin's
they
in.
have Dr. Pepper.
Just hook me up to an IV.
Yeah.
I love that stuff.
Yeah.
More than I should.
Yeah, right.
Okay, what about this? Are there better days? I mean, because especially if people are flying to their port, are there better days to book flights? Are there? Because I've heard stories, and I don't know if any of them are true.
Yeah, if I could crack the code to the airlines, I would be so rich.
Yeah,
to figure out how they do things. I've never figured out if one day is any better than the next.
It's not the second Tuesday of the month.
Right. And so, for me personally, I just go with my gut. If I think, okay, I may watch a flight for a little while and see what it's doing, if it goes up or down or whatever. And then if I think, okay, I can live with that price, I'm buying it and I'm not looking back.
No.
Yeah, because if
it went down, then you'll be mad.
Yeah, because that's not something that you can call into the airline and be like, look, I've got a client that wants a better price, right?
Yeah, right. They don't play that game. No.
The cruise lines do.
Yes.
And the airlines don't.
Yeah. And the airlines if the lower price comes around, they're not going to lower it either. So
you can't return that ticket either. Yeah. They're fun like that.
Yep.
Yeah.
Well, cool. Well, man, I it's been awesome.
Thank you.
You've answered a lot of questions, and I'm sure that some of our listeners have some questions that we haven't even considered. So if you have those, send them to us to info@homeownershow.com, and we will ask the person, the expert sitting right over here who can help with all that. But we absolutely cannot let you get away without doing the most important part of our show, the thing that everybody looks forward to more than anything else.
Yep.
Which
You're scaring me.
The Final Four.
The Final Four.
That's right. So the Final Four questions we ask all of our guests. You are prepared. We know that you have the best answers of any person that has ever come on the show. Now, in all fairness, we have to let our listeners know that your husband was on this show early. And so your answers just have to be better than his. That's all that really matters, right?
Absolutely.
Okay.
I don't even know how he answered, but
He didn't. Did he talk about JJ?
I don't remember. Yes, of course he did.
He did.
We want to
Yes.
make her go download that.
Yes. Jimmy talked about how awesome and amazing of a wife you are.
and he's right. He is so right.
Never has he been as right.
That's right.
No.
That's right.
No. All right. Well, here are the final 4 questions, starting with number 1. What is the must-have tool you won't leave your house without?
The must-have tool.
Yep.
I think that would be my cell phone.
Yep.
That's probably a common answer,
It
right?
is the most
trending.
common. Yes. It is the most common.
Because if I can't fix it, whatever tool I need to fix something, I can call somebody to come do it.
Yeah. Or order it.
Or order it on Amazon. Yeah.
That's right.
It'll be here tomorrow.
Yeah. And honestly, there's a lot of we interview a lot of business people. We interview a lot of people that own their own businesses, and for them, that's the bread and butter, right? Mm-hmm. Being able to communicate with other people, it makes a lot of sense. And not to mention the fact that there's a lot of tools actually on your phone, like the Measure app,
Yeah.
and things like that are really helpful. So,
and I have an app as well.
Oh, you
a
do?
Cruise Planner app. Yes.
Okay.
Yeah. So you can track. You can look at all your past vacations. You can book your next vacation through the app. It has a counter.
What's the app called?
Cruise Planner app.
Cruise Planner app.
Yep.
Is it available Apple and iOS? Nice.
Yep.
Okay. Great.
We'll have to link that up.
I will definitely link that up.
Yay.
So that'll be a good thing. Okay, cool. All right, second question. You ready for a second question? Question number 2. Here it is. What's a job you've walked away from? We've already told you the caveat. Everybody who listens to the show knows the caveat. We wrote it one way. Everybody hears it the other way. So what is it, a job that you've walked away from? Take it however you want to. That's a big lead in.
It is a big loaded question. So I'm really I'm not one to walk away from a job.
Okay.
So, but I did walk away from a job in college that I had for like 2 days. I worked at a chicken place.
Okay.
And I couldn't stand the way I smelled when I came home. I smelled like one big fried chicken leg. So I said, okay, enough. I can't do this. I can't do this job.
Nice.
So,
Was it any particular chicken place that we're willing to mention?
No.
No? Okay.
No.
I would mention it, but
I would too.
Yeah.
I'd totally throw them in
I
under
would
the bus.
too.
Yeah. Honestly, it wasn't like one of them.
It wasn't one of the big ones?
The big ones. It was a local owned little chicken shack or whatever.
Is it still there?
I don't know. It was in Tyler, Texas. That's where I was at the time. So, so I don't know if it's still there or not. Probably not, because once I quit, they just had to.
From there.
They just had to
they
go out
had
of
their
business.
opportunity.
They did.
It's gone, squandered. Actually, this is an interesting thing. I actually heard a story the other day about a chicken that had his head cut off and lived for another 18 months.
18 months?
Yeah, it's a I don't remember the name of the chicken all of a sudden. They named this chicken.
The head was alive or the body was alive?
The chicken lived for another 18 months.
That's
freaky. Answer the question.
The chicken was still alive.
Okay. Which part was the chicken?
The egg, right? Or is this the chicken or the egg question? Oh,
the head or the
head
body?
Chopped off. Did the head survive or did the body survive?
The body survived. Okay.
That's all I wanted to know.
Yeah. So the body survived. They took this thing on tour. This was like way back in I don't know, like the 40s or 50s, and they made tons and tons of money showcasing this chicken around. And anyway, it's a whole thing. I'll try to find information on it and let people know. It's the weirdest thing.
Is this like a Wikipedia article you wrote?
No, it was when I heard it on was a podcast called Stuff You Should Know. And there was an episode called Amazing Animals.
Yeah, and
it was one of the animals
That's a good podcast. I like that podcast.
Yeah, it's a good one. Yeah, they do a good job. So
I don't think I wanted to know that though. I just not. No.
Like
that visual is not no.
they fed it with like a syringe because it just had an esophagus. And so they, anyways.
Okay. Next question.
The weirdest thing ever. Anyway, all right. Third question. How do you wind down at the end of a long day?
Okay. So I spend most of my time, all my days, in front of the computer and on the phone talking.
Yeah.
So I unwind at the end of the day as I sit in my recliner and not talk, not look at my phone, not do any of that, and just watch mindless TV.
Mm-hmm.
And it just totally relaxes me. And I have to tell you, I'm a Andy Griffith fan.
Okay.
Big
I was about to
time.
ask, what is your
Big time.
go-to?
And so every night I watch an episode of
Talking about like the old sitcom that he did, right?
Andy Griffith Show,
Yeah.
And
And
I go back to Mayberry, and it just totally, all the politics are gone, everything is gone. It's a wonderful thing.
Okay, so I grew up with Andy Griffith. My dad, big Andy Griffith fan, and so I've seen all the episodes multiple times. You have to have a favorite. What's your favorite episode of Andy Griffith?
Oh man, there's so many.
Judy.
Oh God. Oh my. Anything, the Don Knotts makes that show,
Oh yeah, he does.
and his humor is just over the top.
Yep.
I love it. I
Yep.
love it. And so just to say one episode
It's
is
tough.
like, it is tough.
Yeah.
It is tough. I mean,
Oh man, yeah.
put me on the spot, but
Well, I'm
actually
sorry.
a big fan of like his. It's not really stand up, but he tells stories. Andy Griffith does.
Andy, yeah.
Oh,
yeah. And I don't know. I guess he used to do that on the radio or something like that.
Yeah,
but,
I don't know exactly, but he has
he's
like the
an
story of like the first person that ever watched a football game.
Yeah.
like watching the football game for the first time and him explaining what that is. It's
He was
pretty
an
hilarious.
incredible
Yeah.
storyteller.
Yeah.
Yeah, he is.
Yeah.
He really is.
Okay. All right. Last questions. You're in the home stretch here. What is one of the best pieces of wisdom or advice you've ever received?
Well, a philosophy, I guess, is I work like it's up to me, and I pray like it's up to God. Because everything I can do, I can work really hard and do my part. But honestly, the success of my business and my family and my world is totally as God controlled. So
Good.
That's good.
I love it. Now,
We have the fifth secret question.
yeah.
what?
So it's actually the most important one. If people want to reach out to you and contact you and book a cruise or really any vacation, how do they get a hold of you?
Well, my website is www.funcruisesforyou.com, and it's the number 4.
Okay.
Fun Cruises, the number 4, YOU.com, or give me a call at 281-292-7022, or toll free 866-714-SAIL, SAIL.
There you go.
There you go.
That's a song. Sail. All right.
You on Facebook?
I am.
People can find you there?
Yes,
All right.
JJ Cruise Planners. I'm on Facebook. Like it, like me. It's
We all like you, JJ.
oh, you're so sweet.
I just want to get all those. We want to get all those links up in the show notes for you, so people can do the
Yeah.
clickety.
That's right.
Yeah.
All
Get
right.
out of the house. Isn't that what this show is about?
It
Get out
is.
of the house.
Get out of the
Call
house.
me. I'll help you. Go away.
Go away. Get out of here.
Get out of here.
Out of here.
Yeah.
All right,
Oh.
Craig. What else we got?
That's it, man. I'm ready to go on vacation.
All right. Well, listen.
Even though my wife is leaving this Saturday and leave me in the home.
But here's the thing, man. Like, she just got off a cruise.
I know.
Yes.
And now she's about to leave you again.
Yeah.
And how is it that she gets to have all the fun?
Mhm.
Hey, how Jimmy and I work this thing out is that I say, he says, what do I get to do when you get to do all this fun stuff? I said, well, you get to say, you let me.
Uh-huh.
So
Yeah.
you let her
I let her.
have these
That's right.
things. some reason I don't think you let her do anything. You believe that.
That's awesome. Well, listen, thank you for coming on the show. Thank you for taking the time, and I hope this has been a good episode for all those listening. Thank you for downloading this episode. Continue to support us in any way you can. Share it on Facebook. Talk to your friends about it. Subscribe. Leave us a review. That would be awesome. A rating and review on iTunes. That would be fantastic. But as always, thanks for joining us, and we'll see you next time.
See you.